see, so also makes for a good ground cover. And then very brief that's come out of the two leaves here, as you can see, easy, so you might even strengthen some of the cuttings into the garden bed here, and it's also getting a little bit messy over to the other side here, so it's just make the garden bed and step here, and it's also got just dead leaves and stuff, so I'll push it a little bit, but just keep in mind there's quite fragile plants here as well, and it's quite fast growing, so it's going to come back in no time at all. Now I can't really speak for purple heart because personally I don't know what it is, but there are some. So this would be different, I could be wrong, but just minus, I would say. Vacuum. I was hoping the lawnmower would suck this up, but it's not, and I'm not going to have the new leaf blower until tomorrow, which is a bit of a shame. Alright, so I'm just going to go around and tidy this up with the string. Alright, now that we've got the nature strip looking mint, it's time to get all the grass out from the garden bed along the fence line here. These guys don't need too much. If you've got this many leaves at home, I would suggest keeping them. You can actually make what is yourself some of the best soil additives you can possibly get your hands on, all free of cost. So they're good to throw away. Try to your rhizomes deep in the soil here. The situation is worse than I thought. Oh, that would be amazing. Look at that, we've got another bin thanks to the neighbour, so the extra green bin is going to help so much. And then of course we're going to take Now I'm making progress with this star jasmine here. So before we get over to the other side of the fence, this guy here is actually a star maintenance evergreen shrub. It's pretty versatile too. You can have it along trellises or fences, but you can also grow it as a ground cover. It does contain pretty much mostly grass out of it. So we're pretty much done on this side of the fence, and soon we can make our way over into the front yard. Look at these ropes. They never stop coming out of the ground. We can make our way over to the front. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, bro. Okay, we're going to have to come back tomorrow because I've got to clear all the logs from the lawn before we can finish mowing it. Now, if I start loading these up into the ute network. So I hope you're all having fun, and I'll see you soon. Alright, we're back. Now, before we get started quickly, I just want to show you guys my new toy a lot, and it's going to make my job so much easier. And I also got one other thing. And I also finally got a huge thanks to you guys for helping with this. We're going to have an excavator soon at this rate. But seriously, I just wanted to thank some of you who contributed towards this and stacked them in the ute, ready to be taken to the dump. I suppose I can give it a tap a go. I just hope it doesn't. Okay, so but I've looked inside the canopy here, and there's just a massive trunk that's been cut, and all of these are shooting from the stump, dozens of new shoots from the base. So I was going to tell you guys that these respond well to a hard prune, and I think my point is proven right here. This is another one. So if you want to keep this guy looking red all year round, that is why it is recommended to prune it so often. Apart from that though, it's really a low maintenance plant. So we're going to the spiders here. Lots of spiders. so it also makes for a good ground cover. They make very pretty flowers that come out of the 2 leaves here, as you can see. Really easy, so we might even sprinkle some of the cuttings into the garden bed here. And it's also getting a little bit messy over to the other side here, so we'll see if we can... between the garden bed and the step here, and it's also full of just dead leaves and stuff, so I've butchered it a little bit, but just keep in mind that it's quite a fragile plant here as well, and this stuff is quite fast growing, so it's going to come back in no time at all. Now, I can't really speak for Purple Heart because personally I've never propagated these, but they are a succulent, so these could be different, I could be wrong, but just keep minus, I would say. Alright, it's not perfect, but that's okay. The idea is hopefully this can take root and start spreading before the kaiku comes back. Probably should have done this before planting the Purple Heart in the garden bed, but we'll be alright. Oh, I absolutely love it. This is going to be a pretty powerful hairdryer for me as well. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to leave my lawnmower here over, man. Yeah, good. Right, yeah, mate, good. I was just going to say, I'm going to finish tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Alright, everything's packed up. Tomorrow we're going to come back for one more big day. We're going to clear everything along the driveway, probably trim up this spot Tinea is in, and we're really trying to bring this whole garden bed back, so let's see what we can do. Pretty slow, make sure it's nice and safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow. So clearing out this nightmare of a driveway here, and we're going to start by getting rid of all of this dead wood here. I'm not even sure what this is, but there's just so interestingly comes from the carrot family. They're also extremely hard to remove. If you leave any rhizomes under the ground, they can reshoot. So we're going to do our best to get rid of a beautiful trunk, and we don't want this stuff getting in the way of it. So let's get started with that. guys here are hackberries. These trees spread here are way too close to the other ones, so I think these two are going to have to go. Okay, one last thing to note with these hackberries is they will resprout if you cut them at the base. One of the most invasive weeds here in South Australia. They make berries that are spread by birds and are toxic to humans. It is a little bit big for me to hang around here a little bit more. Okay, this plant here is called a Tacoma stance. They make these beautiful yellow in most parts of Australia. I don't think it's quite there yet in South Australia though, but either way, we're gonna have to clean this mess up. Honestly, this guy's not looking good, just such a mess. The sunlight its whole life. As you can see, it's extremely leggy and woody. That's most likely a result of this plant being smothered by so that you've got a nice base for the sprouts to come from. This is probably one of the most beautiful plants on earth in my opinion, but also one of the most poisonous around. They're extremely poisonous. Also, do not burn any of the cuts because the fumes are also toxic. But apart from that, it's pretty much down to the stump just to rejuvenate it. These are extremely fast growing and they respond very well to a hard cutback. So if your oleander is looking very One other thing to note is you can always see the nodes where you're cutting from, so just cut right above them. But to be honest, this is going to come back so much bushier. So now that this is getting direct sunflowering again, is growing out into the driveway. So basically, as soon as I cut back at the border of the driveway, I'm going to be taking away all of the green foliage. Sprout as well from a hard cutback, so it will definitely come back. A bit unfortunate, but it hasn't been maintained in that long, that's what happens. Okay, and then right here, this guy is called a Japanese quince. They actually make these yellow, little deformed looking fruit to smell, and apparently it's edible. Never tried one myself, but apparently they're used to make jams and stuff like that. These guys also have not messing around, so keep that in mind before you get rough with these guys, because these are sharp. There's just offshoots coming in random spots, growing in 90-degree angles from all over the plant. So it's a bit of a mess, but that'll do. A cool spider plant here. These guys are also pretty cool to have as indoor plants. So he's going to be a bit lonesome here, but if we get rid of all this grass here, this much green waste. So it's going to be quite a challenge, but let's see if we can get this all in the U. Do the edges on the driveway and continue weeding around the bottle brush tree on the corner there. We also need to give that photinia a little trim over there. So and tomorrow when we come back, we'll get all the edges done, we'll trim up a few of the plants that we didn't get to, and then we'll finally be done. Right, they've left much room for us, but we should manage. So let's get all this empty and then head straight back to the property. Alright, let's make this snappy. Get the edges done, and then we're finished. Just once and for all. Is very rough and uneven, and there's also a lot of bits of slate in the middle here that I'm chipping up, so I'm just going to try and use we'll trim the bottle brush over there and the Fotinia here, and then we should be done. I got this new toy here, but okay, I think they'll be passing the house inspection with this, so let's move on to the Fotinia. Really butcher these, but that's looking a bit neater in my eyes, and that's definitely going to start promoting some new red growth to come through, and that's going to look real nice. So now the flowers, they attract lots of birds and pollinators into your yard. They're also a highly resilient tree. As you can see, this has been stumped and nice bushy shape, but as you can see, some of these sprouts are a little bit leggy, so we're just going to try and cut them back and maintain that nice round shape on it. There's also some kind of weed growing through a vine with spinach-like leaves. With some flowers on it. Alright, I think they will be passing the next inspection for sure, but I was really hoping again so much for your support with the GoFundMe. It really means a lot to me. I am going to be leaving it open for a couple of more weeks, but you guys are the before and after photos, and I'll see you all next week. Maybe we'll see what the tenants think before I let you go.